Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We are here in Miami. We are at the Coconut Grove Courtyard Marriott, and I just want to say it's probably one of the most accessible hotels I've stayed in, and everybody knows how much I travel. So we are with James D'Agostino. Did I say that correctly?
Correct.
I said that correctly. He is the general manager, and he's going to talk to us about why accessibility is important to him and why they have already gone above and beyond what they needed to go. So tell us what accessibility means to you here at the hotel.
So for me, it's important that we have guests coming from all over the country, all over many countries, and we want the experience for them to be uniform. Regardless of disabilities, anything that could affect their stay. So I think that definitely it's something that many hotels have put a focus on, especially over the last few years, and we really get to see it when these people travel.
Yeah. It's so different because, like I said, I travel all over the place, and you have something special right across the street from you that you guys just found out about.
Yes.
What does that mean for the guests that go to Shake a Leg Miami, the disability camp next door, to stay here at your hotel?
Well, having something like Shake a Leg in the neighborhood, I learned a lot about the facility recently, and to be able to give that experience to kids and adults. It's something that I don't think people even understand, that it's, would have the capabilities to be able to get on these, sailing vessels and boats and things like that. So it's only natural that we try to accommodate for our partners in the neighborhood. Coconut Grove is very much a unique neighborhood and one of the oldest, cities in Miami. So it only makes sense that we provide ample housing for our neighbors.
Yeah, and I'll have to tell you, I mean, I stayed here about a month ago. And I stayed on the city side where my one whole wall of the accessible room, let me just tell you, is a window to overlook Miami. Absolutely gorgeous, fully accessible, minor tweaks that we had talked about. And now I'm on the bay side. That's going to be my room permanently. We've already discussed when I'm coming down. That is actually going to be my room every time I come down here, which will be a lot. But talk to us about how me coming to you with the minor tweaks, how open you are to making those accommodations and fixing just the little things.
Well, far too often we don't get the proper constructive criticism from the guests, or sometimes commendation on the things that we are doing correct. So when you actually get to speak to someone, not in the form of an email, not in the form of an angry phone call, but you really get to connect with someone and learn how you can make a particular stay more comfortable. So having the chance to talk to you and just talk about these little things that really can affect the comfort of your stay,
right.
And knowing that you plan on coming back here and knowing that there's many people like you that this would really help out. I think it's just a great tool that we can utilize, connecting with people and really just learning.
Right. And let me tell you, the room is fully accessible. You can get in the door. It's an accessible entrance. The bathroom is huge. The shower is set up in the right way where you can reach the soap and water and the sprayer. The seat is right. Well, like one of my perks to him is we need a larger counter, or we need a towel hook right by the shower, or a shower mat. Simple things that they don't have to do by any means, but to make it that much better. And James was so open and willing to already talk about those. You've already made calls to let them know my first time here.
Yes.
Of some of the changes. Tell me how that phone conversation went.
I think, again, it's just a learning experience for us when it's not brought to our attention and we don't realize, we focus on ADA compliance and there's, laws and there's city codes, but there's also things you can do above that level. And a lot of these things you just don't truly understand until you talk to someone who's experienced it.
Right.
So speaking with you and hearing the great feedback you had, first of all, made me happy and kind of proud because, again, it's something that unfortunately many people overlook, and I myself have definitely overlooked it. And just kind of putting it back at the forefront to be able to do that, I think it's a great thing. And a lot of it is fairly easy. Some things take a little more time, but there's not a lot of costs associated with these things. And even more so, the experience that we can provide with these things, that you can't put a price on that.
Now, when you called somebody higher up, I'm assuming, how did they take the news? What was their reaction to your feedback?
So again, I think it just comes more so from we focus too much on the standards and not the actual feedback. So it's definitely good conversations that we have, and points that probably can be taken into account, across the world and across different brands, to really help not just our property but every property.
Right, and I'll tell you, like I said, it's probably one of the most successful. The other thing that I like is, do you do training for your staff? Because I'll tell you, they have gone above and beyond for me, and not above and beyond for me as in making me feel at home, but not making me feel different, not making me feel like I'm disabled and I need all of this help, but making sure that they gave enough to let me know that they were there, but not over intrusive where they took over for me. Do you do training for that?
So Marriott actually has standard guest with service disabilities training that's part of all new hire trainings. It's as important as general service standards. So there's a complete section with videos with different scenarios on things like verbiage and how we interact with because there's different types of disabilities, and there's also things that really just people don't generally understand until it's shown. So I think that's something that Marriott does a great job with as a standard.
Right, but I'm sure you as general manager, because like I said, I've never stayed in a hotel where I felt so comfortable and so like everybody else that your staff is above and beyond. So that's going to be attributed to you.
Yeah, I mean, we really try to preach to the team. Every guest deserves the same treatment. Every guest is here. Some people take one vacation a year. Some people take 20. We don't know their, situation with, how much money they can allocate towards vacation. So for us, really, just treat everybody the same and treat everybody like you would want to be treated when you travel. And if you have a way where you can help someone, go ahead and do it. There's no guidelines on service. There's the basics, but really it comes from just foreshadowing what you think that guest might need or what you can do to make that experience better.
And talking to you earlier, we talked about travel accessibility.
Yes.
That is so hard for us, especially being in a power wheelchair. We need the special van lifts and stuff like that. And you go above and beyond in that category too, where you already work with third parties that if somebody like me needed to be transported somewhere else in the city, you have ways of making that happen. What does that mean to you when you hear from me saying that no one else does that? I mean, you're not close enough to the airport to do a shuttle back and forth to the airport, but you will make it happen if I needed to.
Correct. Again, this was just a situation where received a phone call from a guest one day. It happened to get to me. They had some questions and they were traveling with their elderly mother or, I forget the family member, and essentially asked about the service. I didn't have anybody. I didn't know of anybody, but I said, why don't you give me a day? Reached out to a couple people, started on Google where you can pretty much find anything, and kind of vetted them myself, looked at ratings and, spoke with someone because you never truly know what you're getting.
Right.
And this way now we have someone that we can recommend and that we know after the experience that this guest had, we know now we can rely on them. So. And
that's so amazing. So Marriott, if you're watching, James needs a raise. And he didn't ask me to say that, but James needs a raise. And you need to have all of your managers be trained by James, because I'll tell you, he's open to the conversation. He's open to the new perspective. His place is fully accessible. He's already made changes since I was here a month ago, and made it even better for me this time around. So I know my next time is going to be even better.
Yes.
That for the disability community, I'm reaching out to you. It's your positive advocacy, your conversation, not confrontation, not screaming and yelling, not doing any of that. Having a conversation, seriously sitting and talking to the top, and making your needs known because they're open to the ideas. Because that's all I did is I reached out to James, and I wasn't having a problem. I reached out to congratulate you for everything, and then we just started talking about other things. So reach out in a positive manner. Reach out in a way that you're having the conversation, because you don't know what you don't know until you don't use it. He didn't know about the accessibility I needed because he doesn't function like I do, but he's open to the conversation. So what do you want to say to your guests or anybody planning on coming to Miami? Where should they stay?
I think they definitely need to stay here with us at the Courtyard Marriott, Coconut Grove. And never be shy. You know, the best thing you can ever do whenever you're traveling anywhere is reach out to the property and try to get as much information as possible before you get there, because there's so many little things that can be set up before the arrival, and it makes the world of difference. So,
Yeah. So definitely, again, the Courtyard Marriott, Coconut Grove. Talk to James; he's amazing. But definitely stay here if you're coming down to Miami in any way, shape, or form. You're gonna love the room. Either side is beautiful. I'm a Bay girl, so the Bay side is my side. So you can't stay when I'm staying. But definitely come on down here and try it out, because I'll tell you, if you're looking for accessibility, you're looking for a great vacation, and then you can go across the street and check out all the accessibility that's there. There's no better place to stay than the Coconut Grove Courtyard Marriott. Have a great day, everybody.
thank you.
Thanks, James.